Another team that is quarterback needy is certainly the Denver Broncos because we know their current quarterback room is not going to be the solution long term. Sean Payton's got a track record suggesting that he'll stop at nothing to get the guy that he wants. But is that guy in this year's class?
The appointments are lined up.
You waiting for somebody in there?
Got an appointment.
And it's not about what you want to hear, but what you need to hear.
It's not personal. It's strictly business. It's time you and me had a private talk, Winger. Step into my office.
It's Step Into My Office with Michael Lombardi. Mr. Lombardi, we'll see you now.
Mr. Lombardi, we'll see you now. Jayden Daniels, because boy, Michael, have his odds been on the move.
What's he doing in here?
Yeah, well, we need to figure out what's going on with him, and I'm hoping that you can help here. He was as high as a minus 330 favorite to go number 2 overall, as low as minus 125. And as I look at the DraftKings odds screen right now, he's hitting minus 240. There's been a lot of speculation that he's unsure about his fit in Washington. Everyone's drawing the connections to Antonio Pierce with the Las Vegas Raiders, but even he conceded, I don't know how they're going to pull that off. How should Daniels be approaching draft week with his future in the hands of others?
I think he should just focus, Jayden, you should just focus on becoming the best player you can and hope you go number 2. Because number 2 comes with more money. It comes with a great opportunity for you to be a starting quarterback on a rebuild team. And you can become a face of a franchise that needs a huge face of a franchise. There's been the best time to come into a franchise is when they've hit rock bottom. And let me say this to you, Jayden. This is rock bottom. This franchise has been a disaster since Daniel Snyder came in and the punter took over. For the last 24 years, it's been bad. And so now you have a chance to get back to the historical moments that were once this franchise. They were called something different, but it was a great franchise, and it's a great football town. It's a tremendous football town. They love football in Washington, and there's no other place to love football. So you have an opportunity that most players would really welcome. Don't let the present-day evaluation affect the long-term evaluation. Go in there with an open mind. Look, the Raiders, certainly you love Antonio Pierce, you love Marvin Lewis, but the NFL is not college. You can't pick where you go. And to be able to go to a team like Washington with the historical value, you should do it and jump on it.
How realistic is that the Raiders could trade up to a position to get him?
I think it's really unrealistic, but I think Jayden, Stormy, was the byproduct of Reddit this year. I think there's been a lot of Reddit stuff going on that the agent's trying to manipulate Washington, that he went on the visit to Washington and he misbehaved. I don't know if he took one of their Super Bowl trophies and drove it around the parking lot like George Costanza did. I don't know what he did, but that's been all the rumor and speculation to try to get them to say, well, this kid's a jerk, we're not going to take him. Like, I don't believe any of that crap. I just don't believe it, right? And I think the kid has made it. Remember the rumor was he didn't want to go to New England, it was too cold? Like, all this stuff that comes out, unless it comes directly from the player's mouth, and the kid's a good kid, he's worked hard. He won a Heisman Trophy. He's worked hard to be recognized as the second best player or the second best quarterback in any draft. So, a lot of it came from the internet, and it came when they brought the 4 players in. And it started right after that. I hear this guy was a jerk on his visit. And then the number moved. It's a Reddit movement is what we should call that from now on.
Yeah, there was that. And then, of course, the agent quote tweeting the Pro Football Talk comments from Florio of, if you know that this is your guy, why are you bringing in all of these other players? And so there's a lot of just hearsay and people's thoughts on an issue without actually knowing what really transpired. And at least what I know personally in my interactions with Jayden Daniels and his family in the past, it does not seem like he would be the type of kid to not make a good impression in that setting. I'll just leave it at that. Again, he is minus 240 to be the number 2 overall selection, followed by North Carolina's Drake May at plus 205, J.J. McCarthy plus 850. Another team that is quarterback needy is certainly the Denver Broncos because we know their current quarterback room is not going to be the solution long term. Sean Payton's got a track record suggesting that he'll stop at nothing to get the guy that he wants. But is that guy in this year's class? They're currently sitting at number 12 overall, presumably outside of striking distance from the class's top 3 quarterbacks. If you're talking to Sean Payton right now, are you advising him to be patient and practice patience this year, or be aggressive and go get your guy, Sean?
Well, I think it's hard to convince Sean not to be aggressive because he's aggressive by nature, and he knows that he can always replace next year's draft picks with the year after draft picks. And he's done it his whole career at New Orleans. But my advice to Sean would be, look, you take the guy that you believe in. You trust this guy the most, and you'll fix this guy to become a consistent good player. And forget about what everybody else thinks about the quarterback, because, Sean, no one thought Steve Young was any good when Bill Walsh traded a 4th-round pick for him, or a 3rd-round pick and $1 million of Eddie DeBartolo's money. Nobody thought he was any good. Nobody thought Jeff Garcia was going to be any good when he went there. So the reality of it is your system is very good for players that have certain skill sets that Bo Nix or maybe J.J. McCarthy or someone that you like fits, and trust your gut on that, and then just build it. But it's pretty clear that's what you're going to do, because as I look at this from the outside, knowing that you only have Jarrett Stidham on the roster, I can tell you're going to pick one, and I know you'll make him a good player. So count on yourself to be able to make that come true.
What do you mean? Jarrett Stidham and Ben DiNucci aren't the answer in Denver? You're crazy.
Look, I got to tell you, Stormy, Joe Shane said that Tommy DeVito's the answer. God knows that. I mean, look, I think the Giants love quarterbacks who can't throw for over 7 yards per attempt. I just think they love it.
Oh, that's cold.
Tommy DeVito's at 6'2", and Daniel Jones is at 6'9". I mean, they love check downs. Here, throw it over here, check down. Okay, we're punting now. Whose fault's that?
That's cold, just like Tommy Cutlets eventually went cold.
I'm cold. You took a shot at Chris today. What did you call his Carolina Panthers today?
I don't know.
Poor guy got hit.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. And the Panthers aren't catching strays. That's fine. We're just going to move on. Next topic here, Los Angeles Rams. So we all remember F them picks, right? Well, this year, the Los Angeles Rams are making their first-round selection since they took Jared Goff #1 overall in 2016, with Matthew Stafford and Jimmy G on the roster right now. Matthew Stafford aging. According to Adam Schefter, the Rams could be eyeing a quarterback at number 19. Do you think that makes sense for the Rams to take a swing on a quarterback?
Yeah, and I reported this about a month ago on the GM Shuffle. We talked about it, and Penix kind of fits what Sean McVay does really well. It got my mind thinking when I watched Penix play, how he throws all those over routes, how he's really accurate on the 3rd level, how I would think that Sean McVay would really, really entice to watch this kid play. And look, the time to draft one is now for the Rams. I mean, because if Stafford gets hurt, and we saw it last year, the Rams team just fell apart. It really did. Even though they had Nakua and they had Cooper Kupp and they have all these skill guys, when they went to the backup, now they signed Garoppolo, who is going to miss 2 games, and Jimmy didn't play well at all last year. So there's some doubt there. I think, to me, at the end of the day, this is the perfect time to take one, if one gets to him. Or knowing Sean, if he loves somebody, he's not afraid to do whatever he's got to do to get him. He's not. And I think this will be driven by Sean more than Les, because last year Les really wanted Stetson Bennett. And they ignored all the signs off the field of Bennett. And it kind of bit him in the butt. Bennett went away. We don't know where he went. We have no idea. And so now he's back with the team, but I don't think he's what they believe to be the answer when you watched him in the preseason or what you think moving forward. So they need one. If they don't get one in this draft, and we don't think there's one past the 1st round, where are they going if Stafford, who has been having trouble staying healthy, if he gets hurt, we're in trouble.
It is an interesting discussion. Offensive lineman is the favored position for that first selection from the Rams. Quarterback, 12-1. So some potential value if you think that is a realistic option. Let's have Monti Ossenfort stepping in to the office, GM of the Arizona Cardinals. Adam Schefter reporting that the Cardinals are in the catbird seat. Very advantageous position in this year's draft heading into Thursday. Several teams obviously expected to trade into that number 4 overall pick. Marvin Harrison Jr. -225, an odds-on favorite to go for, but that could change obviously if Arizona moves off the pick. How should Ossenfort be handling all the trade calls he will surely be having coming in this week?
Well, I think what he's got to do at first is say to whoever calls, if a team outside of the top 10 calls, basically say we're not interested, and then make them call back. Say no a lot. Saying no a lot increases the value. And so say no, and then somebody will call you back, because no one takes no for an answer until the pick turns in. And then I would tell Monty to just keep waiting, keep saying no, keep people in tune, Keep the people like the Giants, who Schefter reported today that they're actively trying to trade up, even though they don't want a quarterback. Wonder why they're trying to trade up. I have no idea. They got Tommy DeVito, Stormy. Why would they trade up? They got Daniel Jones. I don't know. Joe Shane told me this. This is what he just told me. So I don't know. I would just say no all the time and then go forward with it. And then wait until the draft day. I got 10 minutes, and when I get draft day, we're going to find out who's playing for real and who's not.
They and the Chargers certainly the bells of the ball here when it comes to trade opportunities, but even the Patriots are, quote, open for business.